You may know a metaverse hater, or you may even be one, asking them questions like, what is the actual point of the metaverse? What is the point of the metaverse? Or even yesterday, we talked to a friend, he's like, I'm going to stick to real life. If you don't believe in the metaverse, or you have no idea what the actual point of the metaverse is, we're here to change your mind. I'm Jace.
And I'm Kaiser.
And we're two of the three members of MetaPunk, where we're committed to learning and leveraging the metaverse for the everyday person. We're going to fumble our way through it and share everything that we learn. We are not metaverse experts. However, we are experts in a few things like music and
Fashion.
Yeah, and fashion.
Media.
And content creation and real estate. Well, we're not the experts in real estate. The third member, he's unfortunately sick today. He is an expert in real estate. But you don't need to be an expert to understand the importance of the metaverse. So we're going to give you some reasons why you should believe it and a few tricks to fully understand all that the metaverse has to offer. So you can share this with your mom or your uncle or your friends that say, I have no idea what the metaverse is, or hey, what's the metaverse? You can share this video with them and they can understand. You can sound way smarter than all of them.
Okay, starting off, let's all take a moment to really understand and dig into what the metaverse is.
If you're having trouble, understand it like this. Everything that you do now digitally is 2D. So social media, surfing the internet, video games, meetings like Zoom meetings for school, in classes, all of that is in a 2D space. And so the metaverse brings it into a 3D space. Now, all the haters that are saying, I'm going to stick to the real world and I'm not gonna move into this 3D space, I'm not gonna get obsessed with it. Well, guess what? You're probably already obsessed with social media or Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is. It's just this metaverse, it moves all of that into a 3D space. Now let's talk about Web 3.0 and how it differs from the metaverse.
The metaverse is a space in which you'll play in. It's kind of like a video game, essentially. There could be hundreds of metaverses that you could be a part of.
So Web 3.0 is basically a complete paradigm shift of how capitalism works. So this graphic right here or right here somewhere will show exactly kind of the shift of that Web 3.0 is bringing. So essentially, if your uncle or your mom or your friend asks you about the metaverse, asks you about NFTs, asks you about Web 3.0, show them this graphic. It will completely summarize everything.
So in 5 years, this is going to be the new standard of the workplace. Get comfortable with it.
Real comfortable.
Get real comfortable with it. Get personal with it because it will happen whether you like it or not. Do not get left behind.
Do not get left behind. If you think the metaverse and Web 3.0 is a far distant future, it's not. Here are things that will change your mind, some few hot things that are happening right now that we'd like to share with you. Maybe you can share with some of your friends that proves that the metaverse and Web 3.0 is happening right now.
Brands have been rushing to the metaverse recently by offering shops, clothes, so it's only natural that they go to have fashion shows. Decentraland announced that in March of 2022, it'll be hosting 4 days of fashion shows, showcases, after parties, and immersive experiences. Decentraland has partnered with luxury digital art marketplace UNXD to create this experience. The events will allow users to interact with one another who are watching the shows and also be able to purchase clothing for their online avatars.
This is kind of wild, right?
Crazy.
Kind of crazy. I'm not a huge person that would ever want to consider going to a fashion show. I think that's why something like this is really enticing, because now it's like fashion shows and all of this are being brought to you. So it's allowing probably more opportunity for people and more exposure than to an audience that might not actually be willing or interested in the first place. Especially when you think about like you normally don't consider video games and fashion week and high fashion. You don't put those two things
together
in the same sphere. Yeah. But it's interesting because now a lot of people that are interested in just maybe digital art or NFTs or Decentraland or real estate investors that are already in the metaverse, they might get that exposure to something like Fashion Week, which also gives designers more
exposure.
Yeah, and more exposure,
clients.
All that. So I think it's exciting.
Oh yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Number 2, Tinderverse. Are you sick of going on dates and getting rejected? Well, the Tinderverse can't stop the rejection, but hopefully it hurts a little less in the digital world. The CEO of a dating app, Tinder, has said that they are making efforts to change the way that we do dating. Wanting to blur the lines between offline and online worlds, they came up with Tinderverse. The Tinderverse essentially gives a whole new meaning to online dating. Now, I have a wife, so the Tinderverse isn't directly impacting me. Kaiser is single.
I'm very single, by the way. Anybody out there? Very single. I think the concept is cool. I think it just brings you to whole new amount of people. Like right now, you're only allowed to talk to people in your area, but in the metaverse, you talk to people from anywhere in the world. So it just brings all those options to you. It just, it just makes.
You know what? Also, like, okay, let's go back to the very beginning of the video, right? When we said we want to stick to real life, or people want to say, I want to stick to real dates. This is scary. I don't want to be dating in the digital world. Well, guess what? Tinder, your dating life, is your DMs on Instagram, how you connect with people. It first still starts out digitally. That's the thing. It's just a 2D space. Like, it's literally still a 2D space. And so the Tinderverse is essentially whenever you are first swiping right on somebody in Tinder, instead of DMing on a message, you just go on a 3D date to a coffee shop. Like, it's not that big of a stretch. We're already submersed in the 2D space.
But now just take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Number 3, Dos. Ready Player Me.
Dos is 2. Uno,
really?
dos. Tres.
Trace. Ready Player Me seeks to be the metaverse default avatar system. Since its start, Ready Player Me has raised $13 million in funding and grown from working 25 companies to almost 900. Their goal is to provide users with customizable avatars that they may curate from scratch using their own photos. These avatars are transferable across all metaverse platforms. The company intends to sell NFT collectibles for their avatars to wear in the future. They've previously collaborated with brands like New Balance or Dior.
For me, the most interesting thing about Ready Player Me is the fact that it's transferable across all platforms. So I'm trying to think of like what is the equivalent to today, right? And so it's probably the same thing as a profile picture across all platforms. Like that's what we have right now. So imagine whether it's Decentraland, Sandbox, Somnium, CryptoVox, whatever it is, your avatar, like you can transfer it from one to the other to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, that raises some like concerns. I don't know, for me, like how do you, each platform has certain requirements digitally. Like I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm sure
They've thought
it will. I'm sure all people that are way smarter than us have thought of all of those things. What do you think about it?
I love the concept. If I can't afford, Dior in real life, of course I get my avatar some Dior, and I'll be looking cool in Decentraland. So I think that's, a little flex. Flex on some people in, Decentraland. But I think that's so cool that you can actually dress your avatar like you would dress in the real world, and it just gives you that extra, just gives you that extra real world feel in the metaverse.
I guess, on your Tinder dates, you need to make sure that you're...
Exactly. You look good.
Hey. Number 4, meetings and classes in the metaverse. I'm sure a lot of people nowadays are used to transitioning all meetings to Zoom, right? Or if you're in class, man, I can't imagine having classes
Rough.
in the metaverse. I luckily graduated before pandemic hit. Did you get some experiences?
Yes, all my classes.
I guess you're in a master's degree right now.
So all my classes are in Zoom, unfortunately. But I would like them in the metaverse. Think about how cool that would be.
That would be way cooler. That'd be way cooler in the metaverse. In a December blog post, Bill Gates said, and I quote, "I predict most virtual meetings will move from a 2D camera image grid to a 3D space with digital avatars." Bill Gates said adoption could be slow because many people lack the tools to fully immerse themselves, such as virtual reality goggles, but he expressed the optimism for advances made with 3D avatars and spatial audio to increase virtual connectivity. Also, Stanford University has been holding classes on virtual reality since the early 2000s. Due to recent technology advancements, they have been able to take it to the next level. This virtual people course will be the first and largest course to be taught entirely in VR, with several hundred of students in the summer and the fall courses. This course is for learning the history of VR while actively being in it. Never mind, can't say that. While actively being in VR, you get to learn about VR, right? That's wild.
Crazy.
I'm glad that I wasn't in college during the pandemic. I'm glad I didn't have to do all the Zoom classes and the Zoom meetings. But I can tell you that I already had trouble focusing. I'm sure everyone, if you're in college and you're watching this, you probably had trouble focusing in all your Zoom meetings too. This has to be a better solution.
You would hope.
It has to be a better solution. I mean, you have to be able to focus more. I mean, you have trouble focusing if you're in class. at least this will put you in a better frame of mind to like learn instead of having all the distractions outside of your
Well, don't you think there'll be more distractions in the metaverse?
Not if you're in the classroom or if you're in a meeting. So like if you actually have to, in the metaverse, go into a space, maybe there's like secret ways to cheat on tests or something.
See, I don't know. How do you find a way to cheat on tests in the metaverse?
Scheming. I'm sure there's way. I'm sure people will figure out a way to like leave the classroom or go do something else. I don't know. But let's have the benefit of the doubt. Let's give all the students and workers benefit of the doubt. If you can only wear your goggles and you can only go into an office or into a space for meetings or classes, that has to be a good thing.
Yeah. Number 5. I was gonna try to say it in Spanish, but I don't know the Spanish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Number 5, Cinco, Decentraland's Vegas City. Vegas bachelor parties may have just gotten a little bit more crazy since now they're in the metaverse. Vegas City is one of the largest districts in Decentraland and has implemented the tools needed to manage land at scale. Land parcels in Vegas City are ideally suited to pursue in a variety of ventures, such as casinos, nightclubs, social clubs, adult ventures, games, and theaters, and other interactive real-world experiences. Each land parcel is 16 meters by 16 meters in size and is represented by the NFT. Vegas City will also present commercial and residential real estate opportunities such as apartments and shopping malls.
I didn't go to Vegas for my bachelor party. I don't know if I would do a bachelor party in the metaverse, but maybe like you could do a real one and then like for funsies, go to Vegas City also. Do two. Or maybe on your bachelor party, I went to the lake for mine. You spend like an hour and you all just.
So you're saying go to real Vegas, have fun, and then go back to the hotel.
Then go into Vegas City.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like Inception right there. Like imagine going to a movie and just like walking into a cinema.
Sitting down.
That has to be such an immersive experience. I don't know. That seems pretty cool.
Or what about the nightclubs?
See, I don't want to be going to a nightclub, but like, I don't know. I like to dance. I like to get my groove on. I wonder what dancing is going to be like in the metaverse. If you're able to like actually wear some like haptic gloves and like be able to fist bump or something. I would maybe do that. A little dance party. We think you should believe in the metaverse, whether you are a content creator or an investor or a gamer or
fashionista.
Yes, or a musician. These are just some things that are happening right now that hopefully get you in the mindset of, hey, the metaverse is happening. I should at least be prepared to try to leverage it. And that's what we're doing here on this channel. Again, we are fumbling our way through it. We are not experts in the metaverse, but we will learn everything that we can and share it with you. And hopefully you like it. And hopefully you consider subscribing. Thanks.